Okay, Boker Tov, Tanya for the 21st of Sivan. We're continuing in chapter 7 of the Shar Yichud Ve'emunah. We're talking about very big ideas, and they're hard to conceptualize. But yesterday we started to describe the higher level of unity, and that I think there's like three components to look at when we're looking at the unity. Sort of envision HaKadosh Baruch Hu's infinity, this absolute oneness that we can't grasp, right? And then like an emergence from that, which is what we call the Malchus, which is like that aspect of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's almost like a speech, right? Which then projects the creation. So you have like the infinity, the Malchus, which is also Adnai, right? And then the creation. The creation is just a projection. It's all a flow just of so in comparison to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we are not a true existence. There's one true existence, right? But it's that middle guy, it's that Adnai, that Malchus that we're sort of looking at. And we're saying that if the higher level of unity is looking at the Malchus as it's absorbed into the infinity, right? And therefore, the projection is total nothingness from that perspective, right? Today we're going to look at what we call the lower level of unity, where we're looking at, instead of from the being absorbed into the infinite, in that perspective, we're focusing more on the Malchus and seeing sort of how there's meaning to the creation because all of that infinity is absorbed together with the Adonai, with the Malchus. It's two ways of looking at the same thing. In both perspectives, though, we are not a true existence. We are not a true existence. There's one true existence. The question is, how are we sort of looking at this, the unity of these, of the Shem Hashem, of the Adnai and of the Yud Kei Vav Kei? And yesterday we said we were looking at sort of the superiority of the infinity, and that's why sometimes we look in a siddur and you see written in a Sephardic siddur, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, and then in between is like a little Aleph, a Dalet, a Nun, and a Yud. Sometimes, which we're going to describe today, sometimes you see the word Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, right, and the Yud and the Hey being small. That's looking at the perspective of the lower level. Let's just, we'll do our best. Okay. V'hinei, afal pi shehu yisbarech lamayla mehamakom ve'azman, afal pi kein hu nimsa gam kin lamata v'makom ve'azman. Even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu transcends everything in space and time, right? Olam is space and time, right? He permeates it though, right? You can look at yourself as your existence as absolute nothingness, or you could recognize that yes, we are not a true existence, but he's permeating space and time. Because he's united with the Malchus. He's united with the Malchus, which is the source of space and time. This is the lower level of unity. Right, Shiluv Havaya Ba'adnis Baruch Hu. It's like I was saying in the introduction. It's the intertwining. It's a good word he translates here of the Havaya and the Adnus. Dahainu Shemahusu V'Atzmusu Yisbarach HaNikra B'Shem Ein Sof Baruch Hu Malei Es Kol Ha'aretz Mamash B'Zman Makom. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is infinite. Ein Sof, his infinite light permeates. It fills all of time and space. Ki B'Shemayim Al Ha'aretz La'arba Sitrin, fills the heavens and the earth in all four directions. So it's all filled with his divine light. Hu b'shava mamish, he permeates all of it equally. There's no place that's devoid of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It doesn't matter if it's the lowest, most decrepit place in creation or the highest thing you could imagine. Even the worlds of angels, that's all part of creation. It's all filled with his light. Kikachu ba'aretz mitachas kama b'shmayim mima'al mamish. Right, he's found in the earth below exactly as he's found in the heavens. Ki hakolhu b'chinas makom habat b'tzias b'orensev baruch hu. Right, everything is within this dimension of space and time, right? But it's all nullified in that greater infinity. Hamaslabish b'al yidei midas malchusum yichudas b'yisbarach, which encloses itself and is united with the malchus. Rakshab midas malchusu midas tzimtzum v'hester lahaster and sof baruch hu. Right, but it's because of this attribute of the Malchus, right, that this tzimtzum happens. That in other words, what's the tzimtzum? The tzimtzum is taking this infinity, right, and contracting it in such a way, right, to create the dimensions of time and space and creation, but in such a way that we don't perceive the source of our vitality. We exist here in a way right? And we have no recognition of that we're being forced and pushed into creation consistently, constantly, perpetually, and we have no sense of it whatsoever. We view ourselves as independent beings. The rock is here, and the table's here, and the floor's here, and there was yesterday, and there was today, and it's all independent. There's no sense of where we're coming from, right? But the truth is that it's all a projection of His light being permeated into a force that's permeated throughout all of creation. It's because of the tzimtzum, it's because of the malchus that we don't become nullified. We become nullified into this great light if we had a perception of it. Right? There'd be no, let's see how he says, so the existence of time and space should not be completely nullified, and there will be no dimension of time and space whatsoever, even for the lower worlds, i.e. it is only because of the concealment affected by Malchus that time and space exist for created beings. Another big day in Tanya, another big ideas. Our neshamas like to hear it. That's, whether we understand it or not. I'll just read the Hayom Yom really quickly. Hayom Yom for Tuesday, the 21st of Sivan. In chapter 3 of Tanya, the Alter Rebbe states that the three intellectual faculties of Chokhmah, Bina, and Das, Chabad, and the 7 emotive attributes are all extensions of the 10 supernal spheros, right? Our makeup, our spiritual makeup, which is our intellectual and our emotional structures, reflect the spheros, reflect the levels of how our Kadosh Baruch Hu emanates. All this refers to the nefesh, ruach and neshama, the levels of the soul that are vested in the human body. By contrast, the concept of mesiras nefesh, right, the ability of self-sacrifice for the sake of godliness, meaning that a Jew neither wants nor is able to become severed from godliness, stems from the very essence of the infinite Ein Sof, and this level of Elokus transcends even the highest of the spheros, which is the sphera of Chachma, that push that a Yid, right, will give his life for godliness. It's beyond any of our faculties, right? Because people will give their life for God. You have endless amounts of stories in our history of people who will give their life. There's no logic involved, right? They give their life for God, even if they're a sinner, even if they're not connected to God. But there's something that's triggered that's higher than their faculties. That's coming from the Ein Sof. That's not coming from our own intellectual or emotional faculties. Tov, Yalla, everybody should have a good day.